Hi, this is Eric Bartzock. Today I'm going to show you how to take on what is probably the most difficult repair on your Whirlpool Corporation brand washer, the Gearcase. As you can tell, this part requires taking a lot of pieces off of the washer, but that is exactly why we made this video, to help you get the repair done. It's a long video, but not a hard repair. We have linked each section of the repair down in the timestamps in the description below if you need to jump around in the video. So buckle up and let's get to it. If you need to purchase a new gear case for your Whirlpool washer, you can check out our website, partsdoctor.com, where we sell parts for all major appliance brands. Here at Parts Doctors, we only sell authentic, genuine parts sourced directly from the manufacturer. The washing machine's gear case connects the drive motor to the agitator or washplate and spin basket, allowing them to move for washing and spinning. If the gear case fails, the washer may not agitate or spin properly, or the washer may get out of balance during the spin cycle. Most commonly, the bearings in the gear case fail, causing the washer to spin loudly, leak water, or grease from the bottom, and get out of balance. For this repair, you'll need a flathead screwdriver, a Phillips head screwdriver, a putty knife, a 1/4-inch nut driver, a 5/16 socket, a 7/16 socket, a 1/4-inch socket, a 10mm socket, a 13mm socket, a ratchet, an impact drill, needle nose pliers, a spanner nut wrench, and a mallet. After replacing this, it is very important to run the washer's calibration cycle. You can watch the instructions on how to run the calibration cycle at the end of this video. For this repair, disconnect power and water to the washer. Open the washer's lid. Then squeeze the handle and rotate it counterclockwise while lifting to remove the agitator. Next, insert a flathead screwdriver into one of the slots on the agitator cap and lift up on it while prying on one of the retainer clips to release it. Repeat these steps on the other side to remove the cap. Here's a side view of the agitator cap to help show how inserting a screwdriver through the hole in this cap will allow you to pry open the tabs that hold the cap in place. Using a 7/16 hex-headed socket, remove the bolt holding the washplate to the washer. If you're using a ratchet, you will need to hold the washplate in place. You may want to use an impact drill, as we have found it difficult to remove the bolt by hand. Then remove the washplate. Some washplates may become hard to remove due to detergent buildup. If you run into that issue, you can either run the washer on manual mode with the screw removed and see if it works itself free, or slip a string under the washplate and try and work it free. After removing the washplate, you want to make sure that this gear here is not stuck onto the gear shaft like in this picture here. If it is, you will either have to remove it with a pair of pliers, or in some cases it will have to be cut off without damaging the drive shaft. Then, using a spanner nut wrench, remove the spanner nut. To loosen the nut, you may have to tap the wrench with a hammer to get it started. Over time, this nut corrodes and becomes difficult to remove. People often have to beat it with a hammer, soak it with penetrating oil, or even break or cut it off. Using a 1/4-inch nut driver, remove these 3 screws on the back of the washer. Then, pull the harness cover away from the washer and set it aside for later. Next, place some tape here to avoid scratching the frame of the washer during removal of the top panel. Insert a putty knife in between the top panel and the cabinet here. Then, gently slide the putty knife forward to ensure that the top panel does not get caught on this retaining tab. Here's the tab on the top panel that you are trying to lift so it does not get caught on this retaining tab. Then, repeat the same process on the front left side. Place a piece of tape here to hold the lid closed during the rest of the repair. Then, lift the top panel and slide it back until the rear tabs on the washer align to these slots on the top panel. Use a small chain or rope with S-clips to hold the top upright. There are 8 clips holding the tub ring in place. Using a flat-headed screwdriver, gently pry to undo the clips. You may need to push the basket to the back of the washer when undoing the clips in the front. Then, remove the tub ring. Next, lift the basket out of the washer. Next, remove the rope holding the washer open and set the lid back into place. Then, push it back to latch the top panel. Next, reinstall the 2 screws on the back of the washer to hold the top panel in place. Then, flip the washer onto its front on a soft surface to avoid scratching or damaging it. Using a 5/16 socket, remove the 2 mounting screws holding the pulley cover in place. Remove the belt by pulling on it as you spin the Splutch pulley until it slides off. Then, using a 13mm socket, remove the nut holding the pulley in place. We have found it difficult to remove this by hand. It is easiest to remove the nut using an impact drive. Then, pull the pulley off of the gear case. There are 4 tabs that hold the Splutch housing to the gear case. Using a flathead screwdriver, gently depress one of the tabs on the housing and work it out of the gear case. Keep pressure by pulling to keep the tabs from locking back into place. Then, work your way around the housing until it is free. Then, press in on the drive gear to slip the cam ring off the shift actuator. Next, remove the cam ring and drive gear. Then, slide the spring off of the gear case. Take a picture of the bottom of the washer to reference later when reconnecting the electrical connectors. Then, depress the connector on the motor run capacitor and pull to remove. Next, gently but firmly remove the wiring harness from the capacitor's bracket. Using a 1/4" nut driver, remove the motor run capacitor. Next, depress and remove the electrical connector from the shift actuator. Using a Phillips head screwdriver, remove the 2 screws holding the shift actuator in place. Then, depress and remove the electrical connector from the drive motor. And remove the wiring harness from the gear case. Using a 1/2" socket, remove the 2 screws holding the drive motor in place. Next, press forward on this clip holding the wiring harness to the gear case. Then, rotate it down until the plastic is free from the metal clip. Using a pair of needle nose pliers, pinch the middle of the metal clip and pull it off. The gear case is held in place by 4 10mm sized screws. Next, using a socket, remove the 4 screws. Then, pull the gear case away from the washer. There's a seal located on the shaft of the gear case to ensure a snug fit with the outer tub, so the gear case may be difficult to remove. Rock the gear case back and forth in all directions while pulling to work the seal free. When removing the gear case, make sure that the seal comes out with the gear case. If it does not, you will either have to pry it out with a screwdriver or stand the washer back up and hit it out using a hammer. Be careful not to scratch or damage the tub. If you need a new gear case, you can check out our website, partsactor.com. We'll leave a link in the description below. You will make sure that you are searching with the model number from the tag on your washer to make sure you are getting the correct part. Please note that most Whirlpool washer gear cases come with the internal bearings, which are not sold separately, and the tub seal. Before installing the new gear case, make sure the tub of the washer is cleaned of any buildup. Note that there might be additional unused mounting holes on the washer's tub. Reuse the same 4-threaded mounting holes that were used with the old gear case when attaching to the washer's tub. To install, align the gear case to the washer so that the slot for the drive motor faces the front of the washer. When installing the bolts to the gear case, make sure to do so by hand, as using an impact driver can cause damage to the outer tub of the washer. When tightening the bolts, do so in a cross pattern until the gear case and seal are fully seated. Next, align the wiring harness's inner metal clip to the gear case and press it into place. Align the plastic clip to the wiring harness and press it onto the metal clip till it is secured. Then, align the motor to the washer and reinstall the screws. Next, reconnect the electrical connector and secure the wiring harness to the gear case. Then, align the motor run capacitor to the gear case and screw it into place. Next, reconnect the electrical connector and place the wiring harness back into the mounting bracket. Align the shift actuator to the washer and press it into place and install the screws. Then, connect the electrical connector. Then, set the spring for the Splutch assembly onto the gear case. Then, install the drive gear to the gear case. Install the cam ring so that it hooks around the shift actuator. Next, align the Splutch housing to the cam ring so that this cutout fits around it. Then, align these teeth on the drive pulley to the teeth on the drive gear and press it into place on the gear shaft. You may need to rotate it to get it to slide on. Then, install the nut using a 13mm socket and an impact drill. If you are installing the nut by hand, make sure to have someone hold the basket so it does not rotate. Align the belt to the smaller pulley, then align it to the second pulley as you spin the Splutch to gently slide it on. Then align the pulley cover to the washer and reinstall the screws. Then, flip the washer back upright and remove the 2 screws on the back of the washer holding the top panel in place. Next, remove the top panel and secure it with a rope. To install, align the basket to the frame of the washer and set it into place. You may need to rotate the basket for it to fall into position. Align the tub ring to the top of the washer's basket with a large plastic edge to the front left of the washer. Then work your way around the tub ring to secure all the clips in place. Next, remove the rope or chain holding the washer open. Then, lift the top panel off the latches and align it to the washer. Next, slide it back until it latches back into place. Then, align the back panel to the back of the washer and reinstall the screws. Then, remove the tape on the front of the washer and open the lid. Align the spanner nut to the washer and screw it until it is finger tight. When installing the spanner nut, do not use Loctite or thread lock, as this will make it virtually impossible to remove the spanner nut again. Next, using a wrench and mallet, tighten the nut. Whirlpool says to tighten the nut an additional 3/4 of a turn, but we found ours is fully tightened after approximately 1/4 to 1/3 of a turn. Align the teeth on the washplate to the teeth on the gear shaft and set it into place. You may need to rotate the washplate for it to fall into position. If you are using the same bolt that you removed, you'll need to clean all the thread lock off of it. Next, put some Loctite here on the screw, about 3/4 of the way down. Then install the screw and make sure it is fully secured. Align the retaining clips on the agitator cap to any of the holes on the washplate and press into place. If you plan on using the washer without the agitator, make sure that you press on the agitator cap and align it so it does not catch any clothes. Align the agitator to the grooves on the agitator cap and rotate it clockwise to secure it in place. Then close the washer's lid. To run the cycle, make sure the washer is in standby mode with all the LEDs off and the lid closed. Then press and release the temp button, rinse button, temp button, rinse button within 8 seconds of each other. The washer then will confirm that it has entered service mode by all the LEDs blinking one time, and then the lid will lock. Then rotate the encoder knob one step. Then press all the keys 1 through 6. When successfully completing, the lid will unlock. Next, open and close the lid to initialize the factory cycle. When the cycle is running, do not disturb the washer or remove power, or you will need to restart the process. The cycle will run from 2 to 4 minutes. You will know when the cycle completes when the LEDs turn off and the lid unlocks. And that's it for today's video, and if you found this video helpful, make sure to leave a like and comment down below, and for more videos like this, please consider subscribing.